Yo. What's good? What's good?
Uh-oh,
Quick, quick,
uh-oh.
quick. Pop up, man. We got to say happy birthday to your boy A1 Forever, man. Today is
Oh,
his
man.
B-Day, man. Happy birthday, my guy. You
Man.
kicking the shit out 40, man. How you feeling?
Oh, man, I ain't gonna lie, I feel great. I told folks, man, shoot, man, that age, it be a number, man. It all depends on how you living. But, man, I'm great,
Hey,
man.
ain't that the truth?
Went,
Ain't that the fact?
yeah, man, went to the Hawks game last night. Didn't even the crazy thing about it is I've been bought my ticket for that particular game last night. And then they want to throw special outcast night on that particular night. So it's just, the best of both worlds there. Unfortunately, really, like for the first time in a couple of years now, like I go to a game around my birthday and the Hawks actually lose that game. But at the end of the day, it still was a great experience. I said, seeing a couple of folks, ran into Yuri last night, of course.
Of course.
and yeah, man, ran into Yuri last night. I know I had of course got the collectible or whatever that they had made by robots.
Outcast. Yeah.
Yeah, the Outcast collectibles. It was only the first 5,000 people, so you had to get there early. So luckily for me, so I was just one of those 5,000. I was able to get one, so that was cool for that. I had nice little dish too, man. Shout out to State Farm Arena. Didn't realize that they added some new dishes because originally I was just going to get some wings from JR Crickets, but
Yeah.
that's normally my normal spot. But I had saw that they had like a soy ginger salmon with the cucumber salad, and yeah, I had to go ahead and try that, and it was surprisingly good. I was very surprised. I went into it kind of being awkward, kind of critical, just because I'm at a stadium. But shout out to State Farm Arena, man. They did their thing on that one. Shout out to the cooks, the chefs, everybody who was handling the food. Everybody had on gloves. Yes, I was making sure and I was checking, but so everything was good.
Hey, look
Everything
at
was
that,
good.
man.
Hey man,
Yeah,
handle
I'm glad
handle
you
my
enjoyed
food with
yourself,
care.
man. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Jay Howard, appreciate you, my guy. Nando, what's good, man? What's good?
Nando,
This
appreciate you, brother.
Sagittarius season, man. That
Yes,
Sagittarius
sir.
season. I also got to give a shout out to my brother, man, David Jr. Today is his birthday as well, man. So shout out to him.
Salute,
Shout
salute.
out to my brother Quentin, man. His birthday is on Sunday. So yeah,
Salute.
it's sad. It's all in the family, man. Trust me,
Yes,
trust me.
sir.
Trucker Mike, what's up, my guy? But y'all see the background back there. It's time. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Y'all knew we was gonna have this conversation sooner or later, and I've been talking about it for years. Shout out to my boy, Let's Get It GA. He may be able to pop in for a second. I know he's working, but he wanted to talk about this. But if he can't make it, we're gonna hold it down for him.
Oh,
Ski, what's up, nephew?
Steve,
Um, but yeah, man. Let's get right into it, man. Raheem Morris, 32 and 54 right now as a head coach, and it's not looking too good, man. And honestly, it shouldn't be looking good because ever since that New Orleans game, which I called last year, um, I said it was gonna go out of control after that because, as I said with Dan Quinn, man, sometimes you can hit your peak and your ceiling, and that's just as far as you gonna go. Because when Dan Quinn hit that ceiling in the Super Bowl, very next year, he started right back coming down to earth. Yeah, we lost Kyle Shanahan, but it was up to him to go find an offensive coordinator to keep the ship sailing in the right direction. But he goes and used the buddy system,
who did he
just
pick?
like just like Raheem Morris, Steve Sarkisian, that was his buddy.
Oh,
And
I
Mike
remember him.
McDaniels and Matt LaFleur, two pretty good coaches right now. And you see what Mike McDaniels is doing in Miami. He's turned it around. So you can't say Raheem didn't have a chance because if Mike McDaniel has found an identity, why can't Raheem Morris find one? It's all about what your coaches and what your players is buying into. And I said in that New Orleans game, they lose that game, they lost 7 straight. Guess what? It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be a fall off, and that they might never recover from it. They have it. But Raheem Morris, Floyd, what's up, man? Raheem Morris, tell me right quick how you feel about his future in Atlanta, because I know we've
Raheem,
talked about it a lot. Go ahead.
Raheem Morris, man. One thing about Raheem Morris, he's one of those personalities that can just, you know, The room just gravitates around him. You know, he just pulls it in, man. And that's one thing about it. I really believe he has a future in being a motivational speaker, possibly a politician, etc., man, because he can really get the room going. But as far as results, that's a different story.
Right.
Well, we already know coming into it, Raheem Morris had a bad rep as a coach. Now he said, "Hey, I was too young for the job, etc.," saying all the right things. I get it. So we all was open, reluctantly. You know, they had to twist our arm and they had to, kind of force feed it. But we gave him another opportunity as a fan base and as people who love this team. It has
Right.
been travesty, catastrophe, demolition. It is whatever word that is bad and it just means just absolutely chaos and total destruction. That's what it's been for the Atlanta Falcons. So I see no future for Raheem Morris. Like in my personal opinion, professional opinion, I know how the optics go, and I know people in the chat. I know everybody's been watching our shows. They're like, man, they don't deserve no third year. Again, we agree with you. It's just it's not our decision. If it was me and Smitty's decision, he'd have been gone a long time. I don't say if it was me and Smitty's decision, a lot of things that had happened wouldn't have been happening. But that's neither here or there. We're not coaches. One thing about but what we can say is logically bringing Raheem Morris back for another year, even though Arthur Smith got 3 years, Arthur Smith had a trash roster, no salary cap, no nothing. So that's that you got to give him a third year, you know. Oh, but 3 years of 7-10. At the end of the day, this is a results business, win now business. You got to win, and if you
Right.
don't, eventually, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get that pink slip. Raheem
Yeah.
Morris has a roster that would blow that roster that Arthur Smith had out the water. And you have the groceries, you're burning the food, the food is disgusting, and the product is absolutely just not working. So instead of having the same cooks and having the same people running your restaurant, it's time to clean house, get in some better people, some more experienced people, some people that can put that little meme that used to be with the guy, you know what I'm saying, like he's sprinkling salt and everything, the one that
Yeah.
can really do that and really get
Yep.
this organization going in the right direction. Some people are going to have to get out of their own way. And I'm talking about the people that's upstairs in some of the best suites and then some of the best spots in the house. They got to start from the top and they got to trickle down so we can have some real structure for this organization. Raheem
Fact.
Morris does not deserve another year, and that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I agree. And the guy you see in the background, man, we've been talking about Dion for a while, man. If y'all been following me, man, y'all know I said about 2 years ago, I could see him down the road coaching the Falcons. And why I said that? Because outside of Hank Aaron, and me and my boy, let's get had this conversation yesterday. This is why this live is going on. Outside of Hank Aaron, he's the most polarized figure in Atlanta sports history. Bigger than Dominique, bigger than Chipper Jones. Just bigger than anybody that you can name outside of Hank Aaron. Because I don't think nobody ever passed Hank Aaron. I don't care what you do, man, because of the things he went
Agreed.
through, the
Agreed.
period of time. Nobody's gonna top Hank Aaron. But
Breaking Babe
Dion,
Ruth record. Don't forget about that.
right, right.
Yeah,
Civil rights, all that good stuff.
right.
And I used to talk to Mr. Aaron on the regular, man. He was just like that uncle that you see, somebody else's uncle, but always, be free to talk, and he was
Mm-hmm.
just a cool, down to earth person. And
Same, bro. I ran into him
yeah.
one time myself, and he's a very approachable man, just to your point.
Oh yeah. Because I remember working at the pubs on Cascade, and he stayed right down the street from there. And every time he would come in the door, he would tap me on my shoulder, shake my hand, ask me how I'm doing, and go about his business. And when he come through the line, I see him again. He said, "Them Braves got to pull it off, don't they?" I'm like, "Yeah, they do, because they owe us." And there was some of the times I would always cherish, man, just to talk to him on the regular, because a lot of people had even never seen him in person, and I saw him on the regular, man. So I was blessed to be able to talk to him from time to time, and like I said, I'll never forget that. But get back into what we were saying with Dion. Um, I've been talking about this for years because as I'm looking at the landscape of Atlanta sports, and the way things are being ran in Atlanta as a whole, you look at the Braves, they finally got a general manager that's got his head on straight in Double A. You look at the Hawks, and Anzi Saleh has come in, put together a hell of a team, and now it's the Falcons' time to follow suit. And what better way to get the front office out of their funk, out of being comfortable than a guy like Deion Sanders, who's gonna have things his way. If you hire him, you're gonna let him do his thing. And I think he's the only player slash coach that can, come out and do these things. Cause if y'all don't know and if y'all remember, he wanted to coach the Falcons way back in 2003, before they hired Jim Morris Jr. He put his name in the drawing. So they went with Jim Morris Jr. and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wait a minute,
So
Smitty. So
go
wait a
ahead.
minute. Like, remember around that time, just to see your point. So that's probably the reason why he decided to play that one more year. Because then he goes to like the Ravens when we hired him,
Yeah, he
and
played
I
two
think
more
he played
years
like
actually.
yeah, 2 more, yeah, 2 more years or
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
right. So
Continue.
so by him, putting his hat in the ring then, and to fast forward about 20 years, 22 years later, 23 years actually, because if you look at football years, it's 23 years. Um, to fast forward that far down the road, knowing what's going on in Colorado, he went to Jackson State HBCU, um, invested $2 million in the locker room, really didn't get paid there. He was trying to do it for the kids. Goes to a Division One school in Colorado who hadn't had a winning record, and God knows winning only won one game in the season before he got there. Um, as I'm looking at the only step he has left is the NFL. Now, the only thing, and me and Chris talked about this, would be his health. Of course,
Oh yeah.
with the blood clots he suffered in his leg, and then he had his health scare a couple of years ago. Well, he been having a health scare the last couple of years,
I
should I
think a
say?
couple of years. Yeah.
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 So
About
when you
three
look at
years.
that aspect, that scares you a little bit. But at the same time, we know Dion is going to command respect. Uh, cold blooded says here's the funniest part of the whole conversation. Y'all mad at Raheem talking about his ego, and that's just an opinion. But it's proven that Dion motto is his way or the highway. But I get it. But cold blooded, the thing about it, if you're gonna have an ego and want things your way, you might as well do it the right way. I see, like I keep telling y'all, man,
Mm.
Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris hands are tied to a certain extent. And Deion Sanders, I don't think that would be the case because as a flashy player like he used to be, a celebrity, a marketing tool as he is, you can't hold that away from him. You can't let him just go out and just play what you want to play with. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to go out and get results. We know this because look at what he did at Jackson State. He brought along Travis Hunter. He brought along his son. They made it to the SWAC championship. I'm sorry, the Black World Championship game, and that's what we call the HBCU. Then he gets to Colorado. He hires celebrity coaches to be on his staff. And then not only that, he gets one of the best recruiting classes the school has had probably in the last 20, 25 years. So if you know Dion, you know he's not one of those guys that goes for mediocre. So look, I'm telling you, Dion could be that guy. And Arthur Blank being 83 years old, he might just give in to say, we got to do something right now because the back end of my life is shorter and shorter. So look, Dion
Yeah.
could be that guy to just turn it over because look, I'm telling you, he's going to bring in top notch coaches, and I'm sure he's going to bring his son in, which means I think Mike Pence's time would be cut short in Atlanta, and there's no shot against Mike Penix, but at the same time, no matter what coach you bring in, they're going to want their own kind of quarterback, no matter if it's a veteran, no matter if it's a young quarterback, but it's bound to happen one way or the other. So Dion would be, to me, something that the city needs, and I don't care about culture and all that because Dion has his own culture. We know that. And this excitement that he brings and the energy that he brings is something that the team needs, something that the organization needs, and something that the city needs. So, right quick, man, tell me what you think Dion would bring to the city of Atlanta.
Um, well, I know you did touch on a lot of points already, really, Smitty. But I know I mean, I guess really just going back to it, honestly, my main concerns would be, first of all, the health. He has not been available. And regardless, I need my coach available on the sideline, no matter who he is. I don't care who the name is. I need you available on the sideline. And if your health is a reason why you possibly may not be there, regardless of who the name is, I can't have you there. So that's the number one thing. What's your health like? Are you going to be able to be available for us on the sideline? Because NFL is different from college. And I'm just saying that's not going to be a good look having our hiring a guy that is possibly not going to be available. I can see if everything was perfectly fine, perfect, like example, like Raheem Morris. Everything looks like he's perfectly fine, right? And then if something was to happen to where, hypothetically speaking, he went down with something, that's different. But to hire a guy that's already going through something, regardless of the name, I just feel like that's irresponsible. We already just going through enough. Then let's talk about the coaching record. Now I know it's Colorado. It's not like the biggest school, and he has turned around that franchise. He needs to be credited for that. He needs to be credited for making Jackson State relevant, all that stuff like that. So he's done great things. But again, if we're talking about results and wins and just some being able to do that, he's not necessarily having the best winning record in the college game. You want him to try to transition and try to come into the man's game, even though he's played it, he's not coached it. So
Facts.
again, like I got reasonable concern for Dion coming from college, somewhere that he's not necessarily winning championships, having undefeated seasons, and available, and bring him to the Atlanta Falcons that's already murky as it is. It could have a negative effect. It could go just like good intentions, but the results could be absolutely catastrophic, and you even go even worse. Then let's not even talk about the fact that what if Dion comes here and he is having losing seasons? Then that's tarnishing what people think about Deion Sanders as a player, person, everything. Because it's what have you done for me lately? Everybody remembers Dion and his greatness. If he comes here and he fails as a coach, that's what people will be remembering. How he failed as a coach in Atlanta, of all
Yeah,
places.
yeah, yeah. But it that's a good point. When you talk about legacy, as far as what he means to the city of Atlanta. Um, Now he would get a slight pass, only because he's a first time coach in the NFL. Just like other coaches, Jim Mora, he made it to the NFC Championship game. Mike Smith, first time coach, ended up having the most wins in Atlanta Falcons history. Dan Quinn, another first time coach in Atlanta. So I mean, all he has to do is win a certain amount of game. But Jermaine says, if I can say one thing to Arthur Blank right now is it'll be time to speak up and get tough. There are better not be a third chance for Raheem. He had both chances and blew them up as a coach, and that's absolutely correct.
That's
Because
right.
as I've said and spoken, he was I think 4-7 as the interim coach
Mhm.
for the
Yeah,
Atlanta Falcons.
yep, 4-7.
So now
Yeah,
having jobs in Tampa Bay, which he did have a winning season there, but ended up falling off the last two seasons. And then he goes around to think about 12, 13 years as an assistant. He finally gets another chance, and honestly, to y'all, tell the truth to y'all, I don't think he gets a job as a head coach anywhere else but here, because he's coached here before. He knows the city,
right.
he knows the atmosphere, he knows the vibe, and that was supposed to he was supposed to connect with the fans. But let's be real. If
I'm
he showed you as an interim coach that he could only get us 4 wins, what made you think he could get us 12, 13 wins in a year and take us on a deep playoff run? I just never saw that vision. So
bro. I got a funny side story. And
go
it
ahead.
just recently happened. So today is Thursday. So this story happened on Sunday night. Yeah, so Sunday night. Everything ran into a Bucks fan. And she was like, she was like, hey man, my Bucks won. It was the same day we had lost against the Jets. So she like, my Bucks won. We finally got off our 3-game losing streak. I'm like, man, that don't do nothing for me. Watch out, watch out, watch out. You know what I'm saying? But she was just like, hey, in all realness, she said, you remember, I remember Raheem Morris. We were so happy when we got Dirk Cutter just because we wanted to get off of Raheem Morris. So y'all will start probably winning again when y'all get off of Raheem Morris.
And that's bad to
That's a
say.
whole nother fan base. That's a rival fan base too that had our coach before, and they saying and it's not just a one person. It's not just this one lady. There's been multiple Bucks fans that Smitty's ran into. I've run into other
Yep.
content creators have run into because we all talks amongst ourselves. We all
Yep.
be hearing it. How about them
But
Falcons? How about
but
Raheem Morris?
yeah, yeah. But you know what hurt more, Chris? You know what hurts more?
Tell me.
To know that a lot of current NFL, players spoke up for him, saying he was probably the perfect candidate to be a head coach. And now you making those veterans and those players look bad because you can't hold your own as a coach. And now you may be out of a job soon and go
Yep.
back to being a coordinator for the rest of your career. And honestly, a lot of these players like Jalen Ramsey, who he played for in Los Angeles.
Right.
You look at even Warren Dunn. Warren Dunn, when he was
Yeah.
he's
Robert
been a
Griffin.
part of the Falcons and the Bucks organization, so he knows through connection, he knows this guy. But go ahead, my bad.
No, I just was adding name. I just said Robert Griffin. Robert
Yeah,
Griffin went strong, went hard in the paint that offseason for Raheem Morris, especially when we hired him. And honestly, Smitty, even crazier than that. If y'all go on Twitter and go back to that post when we first hired Raheem, the comments at present day are absolutely insane. It just from it just day and night because you see some comments that are good, and then you see the updated comments, and it just like I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons try to delete that after a while.
yeah, and think about it, bro. And Country made a good point about this, man. He said probably the reason why Raheem is here too is because this guy named Rich McKay ran across him in Tampa while he was
Yeah.
coach down there, and they crossed paths and probably built the relationship, and that's another reason why he's probably here. So when you get hired as a coach, you got to have some kind of connection to the organization that's hiring you. I mean, there's no if and buts about it. So maybe this is one mistake that they can learn from, but I feel like Dion to Atlanta because of what he means to the city. I feel like all the um that's all that's all you need to know really. And again, he has said he didn't know about coaching in the NFL, but at the same time, he loves the city of Atlanta. He loves money, and they would throw the bank at him. So
Yeah.
Dion would be just that guy, man. And one thing too, before I let you go, Chris, um, this is something that I feel like they should do to even though it worked out in his favor, I feel like this is something that they should do in order to right their wrong from let him leave Atlanta in the first place.
Mm, okay. Okay.
So that this is one where you can right that wrong. You hire him as a coach, see what he has, because we know he's going to bring the talent. We know he's going to put everything in place. We know He's a perfectionist, and that's something that we've known about Dion for God knows how long. Even when it comes to advertising sneakers, he does that well. Even when it comes to commercials, even when it comes to acting, singing, even though he couldn't rap, he tried. And that song is still relevant today,
Well,
35 years later. So you know what you're getting in Dion Sanders. That's all I'm saying. If
yeah,
you go get another first year coach, you got to figure them out. But with Dion Sanders, you know exactly what you get. Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, and the thing is, we don't need him to do all the shoe commercials and all that stuff like that. I don't need all that. I just need somebody that's going to be in the war room and that's going to be getting the best out of our team. I want somebody that's fully locked into the grind. And I just don't know if Dion is, man. I'm just sorry. I love Dion Sanders, the player, the person, more than I think I love Dion Sanders as a person, even more than a player. But
Right.
at the same time, bro, I gotta be real. If I'm being real with my organization and just taking feelings out of it, taking names off of it, I want the best for my Atlanta Falcons, man. And I just don't feel like, he would have to come in and prove something to me. I'm just looking at the track record. Again, I just gotta pull resumes. And when I pull resumes as a coach, it don't look good, even at the college level.
Right.
So you just really expect me to believe that all of a sudden, because he's Dion, and just because he's coming to the NFL, to a league to where most of these kids didn't even see him play anyway, they're just supposed to just bow down and just respect and say, "Hey, I'm gonna come to the Falcons because they got Deion Sanders now." I just don't see that. I call
Right.
BS. And for me, I just, again, get me somebody. I'll get on train for like Matt LaFleur if he gets let go. Even Mike McDonald, get let go. Mike Tomlin get let go. I'm running to the phones. So it's just like, again, guys that has done it on this level before. Because my thing is, hypothetically speaking, Nathaniel Hackett can possibly go to Colorado and maybe be a good head coach. You never know, but we know
Right.
something. He's been at the NFL level twice. He sucks, but he's still been at the NFL level. I don't want to see that be Dion coming to the NFL level. I'm sorry. It's just a different game. These are grown men. At the end of the day, what I'm saying, like, you can do all the snap and pop and have all the ego, have all the flash and pop all you want to. At the end of the game, at the end of the day, when that flash and pop wears off, just like how it's been wearing off in Atlanta anyway, we need to get down to winning games. And if we're not winning games, none of that matters. The what must be the
Right.
money, the swag, should, what I'm saying, getting different quarterbacks in here. Again, at the end of the day, if you're not winning, and if you wasn't winning before, it's just hard for me to believe that you're going to come from college, no matter who you are, and just come over here with the Atlanta Falcons and just do us right. It's just hard for me to believe that for Deion
So,
Sanders, man.
so
And
you wouldn't buy into Dion coming to the Falcons as the coach?
I don't. I don't.
Okay. All
I
right.
mean, I've thought about it. I've thought about it, and again, like, I ain't trying to rain on anybody's parade, but again, it's just, I gotta be real. The same way that I feel about Raheem Morris is a mini version of how I feel about Deion Sanders as a coach. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking at the records. I'm looking at the situations too, injuries. So the fact that he doesn't play in the SEC, but that's also something that's going against him. He doesn't
Right.
coach in the SEC,
Yeah, because
but
that's top tier talent.
He's not
Right.
succeeding necessarily where he is now, though, with
Yeah.
the lesser talent. So you think if he comes and takes over Tennessee or Alabama, I think he bottoms out there too.
I can see that.
So
I can see that.
again, I just don't want to see that happen to my Falcons. Again, I'm taking personal feelings out of it. Again, I love Deion Sanders. I love, saying Shador. I love the whole, I love everything that they do. The antics, I love all that stuff from a distance. Don't want it don't want it, being a part of my
I'm in the
organization,
locker
because
room.
yeah, man, we just not there stably to where I feel like we can handle the personality. So it's not necessarily all Dion too. It's the Falcons organization.
Right.
I don't think we can handle the personality. I think some kind of way we would screw that up, and it wouldn't work out well
That's a
for the
great
Atlanta
point.
Falcons.
That's a great point. Miss Christian said, well, I'm sorry, Jermaine said Atlanta just wants to win games, period. Miss Christian said, "Rise up, family." Um, Kevin said, "What about Rex Ryan?" But if Tomlin is out, I'm all in.
Tomlin.
And I told y'all about Tomlin, man. I'm all in on Tomlin as well. Um, he would bring what Pittsburgh, what they implement, and that's structure. But the only thing about structure in Atlanta, we don't have that. So will they let him come in with that blueprint and rework the organization to make this organization have a little bit of structure in order to build this team in the right direction? That's yet to be seen because even in Pittsburgh, and I had this conversation yesterday, um, he had his hands tied a little bit too because he wanted to get rid of Ben Roethlisberger before Pittsburgh did.
He did.
Ben Roethlisberger
He did.
stayed 3 years, 3 to 4 years too long. Even though he still had a strong arm, he still could make plays. We know Ben Roethlisberger wasn't the same, especially after those allegations that he had.
Oh, yeah,
And
man.
after all that happened, all that other stuff went by the wayside. And Mike Tomlin came out in public and said, he felt like it may be time to move on. But what did they do? They stuck with Roethlisberger, missed out on some key quarterbacks. And guess what? I'm talking Mahomes. I'm talking Deshaun Watson. I'm talking Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, them type quarterbacks. So yeah, it's just something with the Atlanta organization that they just have to get out their own way. You bring in a coach, let him do his thing. Bring in a GM, let him do his thing, and you trust what they do because you hired them to do that job. Don't go back, a year down the road and say, "I'd rather have this guy. I'd rather have that guy." If you are the blank, you get out the way. You see it with Jerry Jones. You see it with Mark Davis in Las Vegas. Owners that get in the way, they always destroy their team. Even look at the Jets, the team we played last week. Woody Johnson has to be one of the worst owners in football.
Yeah.
He has to be. So let them do their job, man. If they can do their job the right way, that just let it be. Miss Christian said the only thing good about Dion that he's had is the ability to get the coordinators and the players for success, except for this season. And you knew that was going to change because you still got the Ohio States, you still got the Georgia, you still got the Alabamas, and all these top schools. So it was just a flash in the pan thing with him getting all of those players out of Colorado his first year. So we knew that wasn't gonna last.
He
You had
was
to
the hottest thing going. It was a hot topic.
right,
So, it's
right.
like I want to go to the hottest thing that's out, the most trendiest thing that's out. And right at that time, it was Dion. And he's still trending. It's different, man. It's different right now.
Cold blooded said, "You don't add stability, you build it." Raheem should be retained. What you
In
think
that
about
case,
that?
we should have kept. In that case, we should have kept Arthur Smith then.
Agreed.
That's my rebuttal to that. Like, okay, if Raheem should be retained, then we should have never fired Arthur Smith then. I mean, because the statement I agree with actually, but it's just, do you believe that we can actually really get it out of this particular coach? That's the question.
That's an excellent question. Um, I don't think so. And the reason why I said it is because I've been telling you for about 3 weeks. I feel like the players are slowly giving up on Raheem. They're gonna go out and perform because they get paid to do that. But that same energy is not there. You look at Bijan Robinson, he ran for damn near 200 yards from scrimmage. And guess what? He still didn't seem like Bijan. You see, he looked the Jet is still after having a good game because they do not trust that coach. If your players don't trust you and buy to what you're doing anymore, you might as well just let it be what it's gonna be. But Miss Christian said Tomlin will retire after Pittsburgh. I don't see him leaving nor them getting rid of him. His fan base is still strong behind him, and they absolutely are.
They are.
Uh,
She's right. She's right.
Absolutely, 200%. But you got to remember, sometimes the media can swing it to a point as to where they put pressure on the front office to make a move. So the media is playing a big part in his future in Pittsburgh. Because remember, about 5 years ago, He was in the news the whole season. I think they finished that season 9-8 that season, and
Mm.
they tried to drag him up under the bus. But
They
Pittsburgh front
tried.
office didn't budge. They
They
stayed
knew what
straight.
they had.
Yeah. So look,
I'm running to the phones if he becomes available though. I at least gotta make the
absolutely,
call.
absolutely. See what he want. See what type structure he gonna bring, and see what kind of plan he got in place in case he becomes a coach elsewhere. Because trust me, one thing I do know about him, his attention to detail is pretty good. You can see that in the press conferences because he can detail shit to a T. But Nate said, "What do y'all think about James Harrison saying Mike Tomlin was a good coach but not a great coach?" Mm,
You know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I can see that. And because one thing about it, you think about it just like how this topic is perspective, right? You know what I'm saying? So is that comment. Not everybody is gonna love you as a head coach.
facts.
I don't think every player is gonna love you as a head coach. Just like another perfect example, we'll bring it back to Falcons. Julio said Dan Quinn was like his favorite coach. Everybody doesn't feel that same way about Dan Quinn, and we all know that within the fan base. So
Right.
again, that's just perspective, and that's just how he may feel. Maybe he rubbed James the wrong way, or did some things, or maybe showed some favoritism. Who knows what it is? But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, he's a winning coach. At the end of the
But
day,
see, one thing that y'all got to understand about a team like Pittsburgh, and one thing that a lot of teams should follow suit is if you have a blueprint in place, just keep using it. Because what has Pittsburgh been known for throughout their existing defense? Strong defense, strong run game, control the clock. And that's what they've been doing for God knows how long. But you lose Ben Roethlisberger, you still struggling at quarterback for the last 5 years. And you don't resign Najee Harris. So you're starting over at the running back. Same offensive line that you used to. And the only thing you really have on defense is TJ Watt and Jalen Ramsey. And you're still trying to build around that. So this is why it might be time for Mike Tomlin to leave because they need to rebuild. Probably need a younger coach. They probably need a new change of direction because as I said, when that message gets stale, I don't care who you are. When that message gets stale, it's time to go. And that's why we're talking about Raheem right now. So maybe the message that Mike Tomlin had could resonate another organization, but in Pittsburgh, just like Raheem, it's just falling on deaf ears. And sometimes it happens. Happens to the best of us.
and that message
Because
sometimes don't be as strong. We seen that
right,
most, and it's like as fan base, we can kind of really always see it because it's the same body language. Remember before we had to fire Dan Quinn, the players, it's like their minds were there, but their bodies wasn't, you know. And same
right.
thing with Mike Smith. We see it. It always be like the writing on the wall. It just be if the head, no, excuse me, if the owner is going to pull the trigger.
Right. Jermaine said Atlanta doesn't need another culture coach like Raheem. We need to break out of that cycle, get into winning. I've had enough of the culture crap. I'm sure the Falcons are too. And I agree with that 200%. And this is why I said you go out and get a no nonsense type coach. Mike Tomlin is one of those guys, and people have said he's a players coach, but I don't believe it. He seems more like a tough edge guy. That's like I said. He's attention to detail, and I just feel like he would be a change of pace. Um, Kyle Shanahan, he's another one. We know what he brings to the offense, developing quarterbacks. His system works. And now that you have a good defense and solid offensive pieces, a guy like Kyle Shanahan or Matt LaFleur would work. But I still feel like outside of Dion, you got to bring in the offensive mind. You got to. I don't know what they seen in Arthur Smith either. I guess that was the fear disconnect. But I just think you didn't think about it. Ben Johnson, probably look at what he's doing in Chicago. We knew he had a strong offensive mind. So Chicago prepared for 2025 as most teams would going after a coach that they've been eyeing for 2 or 3 years. Don't you think that they put that team in place just for Ben Johnson, just in case he did get hired? They knew what they were doing. So now it's time for the Falcons to follow suit. You put the team in place, go out and get a coach that can coach this team. That's
And
all you
stop
got to do.
playing.
Yep. That's all you got to do. But anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Oh well, I will say something on a brighter note.
Okay.
Our guy AJ Terrell was recognized as the Walter Payton Man of the Year for the Falcons. Each club has a guy that they choose for their organization to be the Walter Payton Man of the Year. AJ Terrell takes home that honor this year for what he does on the field and off the field in his community.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's an honor too. I think it was Christian Lindstrom last year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but yeah, and then it was I think Grady Jarrett the year before that. So
Mm,
we've had pretty good representation, man. So community everything. Up in projects like I did, and having special programs when I was coming up. Community is something that's important, not only to the minority community. It's just important, period. Because let's be real, man. Everybody's not blessed. We
right.
wake up, and some people wake up every day and take every day for granted. Some people wake up on the wrong side of the bed and still being thankful that they woke up and were able to see another day. So I'm telling y'all, some of us better be lucky that we get to see another day, because there was some people that woke up yesterday didn't wake up today. It's just that simple. So community is everything, man. Community is everything. Kids, adults, homelessness, all that stuff, man. Just be thankful you got somewhere to lay your head. And people complain about bills. I never complain about bills. Why? Because I could be in a situation where I can't pay those bills and to be on the street somewhere. So
Hmm.
I never do that. Why? Be thankful you got bills to pay. So yeah,
Yeah.
man. Community everything, man. Community is everything.
And
So
then some people leaving those bills on the family now.
right.
So that's
Exactly.
another burden.
Right. So when you gone, always think about your future. I always think about your kids' future, your family future. Just be thankful you able to pay your bills. That's all I'm saying. Because I was at one point I could not pay mine, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But God on a better path, and God good, and trust me, He put me right where He want me. So
Facts.
just be thankful. Just learn to be thankful, man. That's all I'm saying. Cause think about it, and I'm gonna be real. AJ don't have to do community work. He doesn't. He do it out of kindness heart, probably because that's pretty much probably the way he was raised. And a lot of us take things like that for granted. I think when I was coming up, we got to see Teddy Long and people like that, but we never got to see Dominique Wilkins. We never got to see Deion Sanders as kids. We saw them on TV, but they in the community? They probably were, but they went in my community. So you gotta be thankful, man. But that's all I have to say about the Deion Sanders
I've
situation.
seen a former wrestler Ron Simmons more than I've seen Deion Sanders.
Saw him a couple of times. Um, yeah. But I'm telling you, man, just be thankful. But I'm for Dion. A1, he's a little bit against it, and that's just an opinion, and it's just a thought at the end of the day. But we got shout out to our boy. Let's get it, GA, for bringing the topic up, because I've been talking about it, and it's something that I think is going to be explored this off season. So we'll see what happens. But
Hmm.
A1, tell everybody where to find you, man. And again, y'all wish my boy a happy birthday, because It happened.
Yeah, man. I'm like shoot, like you said, man. I'm grateful to wake up today, man. Another day, another birthday. It's another time around the sun. So I am definitely grateful because, of course, I ain't have to be here. So I'm definitely grateful and definitely going to spend the rest of my time, however many days I do have, to the fullest. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my birthday today. Really started yesterday for me. I was doing some things again. Like I said, went to the Hawks game, enjoyed that. Even though we didn't pick up the win, still enjoyed the experience always. It's nothing like walking into that stadium and watching a game and stuff like that, especially when you win. But ultimately, just the experience is good. So, like I said, going to finish enjoying today and really the rest of the weekend. Got a few things planned, and got the Falcons and the Seahawks on Sunday. Going to be down there working for Fox. So, going to be trying to see if I can get on that field, get a little closer look at what's going on with the guys. But if not, I'm pretty sure I'll probably be in the booth either or. But so I'm happy about that. But yeah, A1 Forever Sports, man. Y'all make sure y'all come over, like, comment, subscribe, be a part of the A1 family if you're not already subscribed there. Also, the Hawks Digest. Make sure you're subscribed to the Hawks Digest, especially if you're a Hawks fan. As we talk about the Atlanta Hawks over there, me and Walter Pollard. Also, A1 Forever on TikTok. Oh, excuse me, A1 Forever on Instagram. What is TikTok, the real A1 Forever, and also Twitter, A1 Forever. So you can catch me all there as well. And of course, if y'all got my Facebook, that's Chris Moore. And I have another one that's Chris Tip Moore. So either way it goes, it's still me.
Facts. But y'all know where to catch me, man. Smitty Sports Machine right here on YouTube. Also catch me at FatBoySlam_21 on Twitter. Because I'm always over there blowing that thing up. And man, I've been going ham the last 2 weeks on the Falcons front office. And I've been getting a lot of giggles, man. But that's what I do, man. But yeah, latest news, updates, debates, and topics, hot topics. Y'all can catch me right here. For my boy A1 Forever, we're gonna let him get back to birthday day.
And
And
thank y'all. Thank everybody in the chat. For
and
real.
thank
Thank
y'all
y'all.
for the birthday wishes. We appreciate it. And shout out to him, man, because he gonna have a good time tonight. I just know Chris. But we gonna holler at y'all later, man. Peace.
Peace.